Hello guys, welcome back to Air Tycoon 5 World Domination, and I join you right in the midst of an economic crisis. Yeah, this is pretty interesting because, where can I show you guys actually? Yeah, there we go. Because the slots are finally starting to open up. As you guys can see, a lot of these major hubs, they might just have a few slots like New York, or they might have plenty of slots like some of the airports in Europe, which have over 20, some of them have over 100. I have been, making a little effort on my own time to start occupying some of these slots. So yeah, what I'm gonna do now is I know these slots aren't gonna fill up right away. The AIs are not programmed to um, kind of open up these slots right away. So instead of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in an order for, oh my god, the Tupolev 134s are off the market. Um, let's see if there's any alternatives. I think the BAE-100s are decent, but they're a bit big. Fokker F-28s are probably the best bet. Only 2000k of range though. That's not very good. So I think we can go the 134As. They're a little bit big, but I mean that's fine. We'll go with like a 29-inch seat pitch, not even minimized. Actually, minimized is probably still best. And yeah, we'll go for an order of these. Let's just max it out. Like how many can we order even? Where are they? Tupolev. There you are. The reason we're ordering these is mostly because we need to occupy slots once again. I'm not too worried about filling the slots right away because I know they'll stay around for just about the rest of the economic crises. So the main concern is just actually having enough planes to fill the existing slots. And the first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to use my 2767s. They're simply more expensive, so they're probably worth using right away. Yeah, they represent a significant amount of my actual money, these 7.6s. So we can go ahead and finally find some routes for these guys. Wait, where do we lack slots? Is it Wuhan? Or is it Rome? Well, we can get slots everywhere. It's, yeah, it's probably Rome, yeah. So yeah, basically, we can just go ahead and make these routes. The kind of routes I'm choosing now are literally just, decent routes that, work. Cities around of similar size on either side of the pond. Yeah, it's very, very nice for 767s. One of the best things about, using a 767 sized aircraft is basically they work regardless of the route you choose. Like basically almost any single route to a decently sized city with a stopover route will be full. Like for any previous games, I think stopover abuse was basically the best possible way to play any of those games. And guess what? It definitely still is. So if you can find a route to make it into a stopover, definitely do so. You don't lose anything from doing it. I do have a lot of direct 767 routes too. For example, Asia to a lot of these major cities, I've just taken with directly a single 767. And as you guys can see, it's not too profitable, only around 4K. So yeah, that's basically why I don't 100% recommend these. It's because, for example, this 767, this 707, doesn't even make that much less. Then again, this is it only makes 2K. Never mind. But yeah, basically, I've been doing that a little bit, and that's one way to do it. But stopovers are still definitely king. If I can find any of these 7.6s on stopovers, let's see if I can. Let's see how much they're making. I haven't actually checked. There's 707s, there's 747s, and 767. So yeah, if you add the two halves of the stopover, they make, slightly more than 4K on average. Like this one's slightly under, this one's slightly under, this one's quite a bit more, close to 5K. This one's close to 5K, which is why I like stopovers. They're basically guaranteed to be filled. This is also, in the depths of an economic crisis, so a lot of these things are still full despite being at the depths of an economic crisis, and as you can see, the direct ones are actually making pretty decent money too. So I guess if they're full, it still works, but that's because they're just great city pairs, whereas the stopovers are terrible city pairs and are still basically full, which is basically, in essence, the magic of stopovers. But yeah, as I go along here, um, wow, there's some really good cities, not city pairs not taken. Um, yeah, like I think, for example, Athens to Seattle, is literally a route worth taking directly. Because like if you're trying to do a stopover, what on the other side is actually a decent size. You see what I mean? Like there's not much you can use on the other side, which isn't terrible. Which is why I want to just make this kind of route direct. Of course, on the other side of Seattle is the Pacific Ocean. We're not exactly making a stopover to the middle of the Pacific Ocean as the best thing. So yeah, that's basically the stopover making strategy. Is you just have to see if there's anything good on the other side, and if there isn't anything good on the other side of the city, just choose a direct route. But if there is a possible way to make the route into a stopover, which is especially true for European major hubs, it's almost always possible to make it into a very nice stopover. And additionally, for what am I trying to say? For large North American cities and large Asian cities, you can stop over to a small city in Europe if you have every single hub enabled, like I do. And if you don't, there's a far fewer number of stopovers you can do. Um, but there's still a lot of ways to make stopovers work. Uh, um, but yeah. Anyways, what am I saying? Um, yeah, let's just go ahead and keep making these nice routes. Yeah, in the future, here's my plans for upgrading the aircraft. Right now, of course, I mean, there's still far more demand to quote unquote take than there is money I can use it to take the demand with. So I'm completely focused on um, using basically some of the smallest planes I can to take existing demand, which is, one way to play the game. But then in the future, I'm gonna kind of run out of good demand to be taking. And when this does happen, my plan is not uh, to start buying large planes and then taking good routes with those large planes, but instead to replace older routes, flying smaller planes with much larger planes instead. Um, Basically, when I start replacing my planes for the first time, that's gonna be my way to filter big routes and small routes. Is I'm just gonna keep creating routes with the smallest planes I can, and when I buy planes to replace them, I'm gonna try and buy appropriately sized planes, and this kind of like speeds up the process of making routes basically, which is why I want to do it this way. Um, Instead of, for example, uh, buying planes the correct size for the route as I'm making them, because I don't even know what size route I'm going to be making when I'm buying the planes. Um, so better to just make sure everything is full when buying the planes, and then basically upgrading the planes to appropriately sized ones later on um, via the replacement process, which basically forces you to manually go through all your planes, unless you want to use the auto replace. And honestly, the auto replace is pretty good, but the auto replace also has uh, major flaws where it does plus minus 50%. If I could say only restrict it to doing plus 50% sized aircraft, that'd be great. Like 90% of the time, the plane is too small for the route I have, with the exception of 747s. But right now, there's going to be no replacement planes bigger than 747s. So that's not really a problem. Um, so yeah. Anyways, as you guys can also see, we're just, very systematically going through these cities and just clicking these routes. There's so many available right now that there's really no concern with size, basically. As you guys can see, there's just tons and tons of fantastic routes available. Um, on every corner we look, there's basically tons. So, like these routes are going to really struggle during the economic crisis to maintain high load factors, but once it's over, um, these routes are going to be like a bit too good for the city pairs they're connecting, which is not really a problem, because once again we'll be making the most money possible for the aircraft, which is ultimately far more important than any other thing. So yeah. Anyways, let's see if we can find a nice stopover pair for Frankfurt over there. And the best city I see is CN. I don't really see any other great options. Hard being exists, but yeah. I mean, let's not overthink. Let's just go ahead and open up this route. Very nice indeed. Let's just keep looking for nice stopover pairs. Like Athens, for example, seems to be quite open. Like a ton of nice routes still exist. Like Busan to Buenos Aires, for example. Just a great route. Like even Santiago, it seems to be untaken to a lot of these European hubs just thanks to distance. And we can go ahead and do that, but like, wow. That's a stopover pair, you don't expect to be finding this late in the game. But yeah, that's a 747 one in the future. So yeah, later on, once we get 747s, that's going to be upgraded to a 747, that is for sure. Then Osaka, probably a very similar size to Santiago. So again, when I get the chance, I'm gonna have to go through all these routes with 747s and 777s and other larger aircraft, and just replace the ones with appropriately sized aircraft. Oh, what the frick! I accidentally clicked something which I did not intend to. Hopefully that didn't mess up my fares. Yeah, go ahead and apply this filter, and then I'm pretty sure we have fuel already. And I'm just gonna drop a little save game. Make sure this says save every time because I accidentally loaded into my save game slot once, and oh, that was a disaster. Okay, so yeah, we can go ahead and pass this turn now. On to the 0.7 tick, and we are just barely making money, despite upticks, which is unusual. That is for sure. And this turn, we're gonna take these cities like Rome, and we're just gonna connect them up with these 134s I have, slash 124s, like literally anything. I'm not too concerned about the specific aircraft we use because we're just trying to take the slots. So I'm gonna actually do this off camera because it's kind of boring, and I'll be right back when I'm done. Okie dokie, guys. If we take a look, I have Hong Kong and Guangzhou with some more slots than before. And all of Europe is nice and red again, the way I like it. Every city is red. So basically all I gotta do now is buy my fuel. Then I gotta go ahead and set my prices. And because these are TUs, I don't use 1.3, I use 1.15. Oh, well, I don't even know why I'm setting the premium fares, because of course there are no premium fares because they only carry economy. But yeah, with that being that, let's go ahead and pass the turn. Show us a little profit, guys. Little profit. All right, 1.1 billion on the uptick. A310, 300 test flights, which is very nice because that is one of the best planes for stopovers in the entire game. Small size, cheap price, exactly what we're looking for. But still very efficient. Yeah, we got everything seems to be going nicely. So we can go ahead and kind of occupy these last remaining slots. Once again, I'll do it off camera. This time with the Tupolev 134As because, yeah, Tupolev's 134s. Alright, guys, so we have occupied just about all the slots in the major hubs. Then there's some like San Francisco and Kuala Lumpur with open slots, but I don't care because I already have more slots than I need in these airports. And then the important ones are still slot locked, which is very nice. So then basically, yeah, all you need to do is get our fuel, go ahead and set the prices for these Tupolevs. 1.15 is a good, nice base fare, and we can go ahead and pass the turn because I like to put in big orders for like long range planes so I can do a lot of route creation at once. Economy's still not decided to recover, but hopefully we get a large recovery. Okay, so here's what happened during this drop. This is a pretty steep drop, right? But the first 3 turns, nothing happened. So hopefully we have 3 extra turns of going up, and we end up higher than we started. Though, with that big of a drop, I don't think you usually get a much bigger recovery than that. So, I mean, we're at like 3,500 before the drop. So, like, whatever happens, I mean, 3,300 to 3,500, if it just gets back to that range, I'm still happy for World Traveler Index. So yeah, let's go ahead and see if anything's changed again. And wow, look at that. The Shanghai airline has dropped a whole bunch of slots. Um, so has Guangzhou, Hong Kong. Okay, that's like more than I can take. Um, Same with Singapore. Geez. So these major hubs are literally losing more slots than I can take at this point. Let's first of all fix up these European ones, and wow, yeah, this is a lot more slots than I can manage to take, I believe. I mean, I could put an order for hundreds of Tupolevs, and that's probably a good idea, to be honest, because after this, there's gonna be like a 15-year run of literally nothing to do with insanely high profits but open routes. So we're gonna miss any slots we have. But one way to acquire slots is also gonna be, I do have this available now, which is tons and tons of airlines on the M&A list, and of course, all of these airlines own a ton of slots in their respective airports. For example, Eurostar, we're going to take this as an example. Where are you based? Barcelona. Well, yeah, you have 2,000 slots. Um, you're somehow not generating very much money with those 200 slots, but yeah, I mean, that's the point. You have 200 of them still. So that's a lot. But I think I'm going to avoid buying those guys for now because they're extremely expensive for the amount of profit they generate. I mean, I can do a lot better than that. And I think they're listed up there literally just based on the ratio of my value to their value. So I just need to increase my value as fast as possible. To do that, I need slots. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a sacrifice to take all these slots without like a very profitable like way to do so. Because ideally, right, I'd be using large long haul aircraft for these routes, but of course I can't. Like, geez, like there's literally slots opening up everywhere. So I'm gonna probably order like close to 100 134s, or I'm gonna really have to consider which plane I use because I could legitimately try and make money from the routes I take. In which case, I would probably want to use something like a. The other option is use Bombardier Dash 100s, and literally no, they don't take enough slots though because they're slow. Um, is there DC9s or DC9s not exist yet? MD81's freaking huge, so not that. 737 is way huge too. So we have the choice between Fokkers, which have horrible range, or Tupolevs, which are too big. But being that Tupolevs are basically the same price, we're going with Tupolevs. So yeah, let's go ahead and just order a ton of these guys. Uh, where is it? Where are they? I feel like they're farther down the list than before. There must be a new company somewhere in there. I don't know how many of these I'm gonna need, but it's gonna be a lot. Like a lot and a lot and a lot. So let's go ahead and order like maybe 80 of these. I think 80 would be a good number. I mean, look at how many Tupolevs I already have. I have over 500 now. Yeah, with over 500 Tupolevs in my company, boy, that's a big portion of my company not making much profit, but it's not a big company in terms of value, actually, because the value of all those Tupolevs is probably like 100 767s or something like that. So, yeah, how many do we have on order now? 60? Maybe 70 should be enough. I mean, I don't want to order too many of these. I mean, I just dropped like a few billion on Tupolevs. So, yeah, 70 should be enough. We got fuel and everything. So, yeah, we can go ahead and basically just pass the turns now. Um, Ouch. Look at the profit drop with the downtick, man. Um, yeah, this is a pretty long economic crisis, but what, like, that's fine. Um, it seems that the longer it goes, the more value the everyone's losing. So it's like not really specific to me, but I think I'm losing the most because I'm usually quite profitable. And we got economic growth, and literally turn one, we have a nice big increase. So that's really nice to see. Uh, yeah, hopefully that goes back up to the point which it came down from. Now, I'm gonna spend a long time occupying all these open slots. I'm gonna prioritize airports I like. So yeah, we'll be right back. And alright guys, I rejoin you with a little bit of a problem here, and that is since um the economic crisis ended, it seems that a lot of the AIs instantly, I mean instantly, bought back their slots. So yeah, I have a bit of a problem now where I have like I think I've used 10 of these 134s and now I'm out of routes. So yeah, that's bit of a rip. I mean, there's Hong Kong where I don't have all the slots, but I don't want all the slots. 700 is more than enough. Um, like to open basically every single long haul route possible, which is all I need. So yeah, by that time I have finished opening up all those routes. I mean, I'm probably going to be basically done. I'll be able to buy every company anyway. So on that note, what am I going to do with these 134s? So first things first is time to set prices. So first set the price to our trusty 1.15. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly turn auto replace on. Okay. Where is it? Here. Auto replace. Target plane lifespan. We're going to say just basically anything under this age. Plane size plus minus 50%. Save. We're going to turn to on. And basically it should replace 124s. Is what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and pass a turn and see if we have a whole bunch of 124s replaced. So wow, into the negatives we go. As the World Traveler Index slow. Okay, why? Replace the 124s. Hello, auto replace. Let's drop a quick save. Seriously though, 124s. What are you doing? Why did that not work? Auto change, target plane lifespan, new plane lifespan, something like that. Yeah, why would that not work? I think it should have worked. Let me tell you, these planes are certainly within that size category. So, I don't know what's going on. Whatever, it's not a big deal. Uh, Uptick 1.2 billion. Jesus, that is a terrible, terrible World Traveler Index. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass all the turns of the World Traveler Index recovery. Just kind of like this, kind of rapidly. And I'm just going to see if it's a decent World Traveler Index recovery. Because if it's not, I'm not going to keep it, basically. Yeah, it looks terrible. This World Traveler Index recovery. Yeah, like, look at that. It should be steep. Like, plus 20. Like, what is this garbage? And the fuel price, too, is just marching up and up and up. Like, what is this? Yeah, I'm personally pretty mad. Why does this happen? Why does this happen to me? Oh, God. I'm gonna have to reload a save. Yeah, our World Traveler Index went down during the recovery period. That is the kind of luck I get out here. And I forgot to refill my fuel, so it's gonna be pretty tragic. Yeah, well, we're not keeping this world. I'm telling you that much. We're going in loading on a slightly older save, and we're gonna rerun this, and we're gonna get lucky. Yeah, I'm gonna rerun this and try and get a little bit luckier. Because this World Traveler Index is not hitting. Just look at the graph, yo. It doesn't look right. All the profits going back up, but these are upticks, so I'm not too worried about the upticks. Upticks are always good. Where's that World Traveler Index? 3,000. 3,100 is not bad, but I mean, if we get some lucky ticks on those initial few, like it could be so much better than this. Plus 74. So we're at 3,100 now, I believe. Yeah, but like that just looks a bit too sad. I believe this is the end of the upticks too, of the World Traveler Index recoveries. So yeah, There we go. So what I'm going to do about this is I'm going to quit to main menu. All right. I'm going to load a game. And we're going to load this game here. Which is about at the beginning of the World Traveler Index recovery. I think there might be a few turns of unidealness already. But here's another thing is do I have any saves which are before 84.07 is probably too early. It's probably a bunch of work there that I won't really want to redo. So yeah, I'm not gonna bother with that. But yeah, let's go ahead and rerun this basically and hope for some better luck. Let's see our World Traveler next now. Yeah, we came back on a plus 55, so obviously not ideal. I would have ideally wanted to have rerun that plus 55 as well. Okay, we got plus 17 this time. Somehow we're doing even worse than the previous run in terms of luck. And what are we working with now? Plus 48. Okay, it looks like I'm destined to just permanently be unlucky. Yeah, these numbers are randomized every turn, so, like, I just have to be, like, the most unlucky person that I know how to cheat the system, yet still get a terrible World Traveler next every time. Okay, one more turn, I'm just going to reset altogether. And what are we looking at here? 138. Yeah, I don't really care that it's plus 138. I'm gonna reset and hope I get 138 for every single round. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. If I get a really high number, all right, I'll save again. And if I get a really low number, I'll just reload. I think that's the plan. That's the plan here. We're literally gonna fucking like cheat the game for what it is because, yeah, I think it's worth it. For the fun of the long term. I mean, I'm gonna be playing this for a lot of hours, so. One big World Traveler jump. 1.3 billion, that's a high one. Plus 112. Am I going to keep it? It's hard to get much better than 112. So I think I should keep 112. I'll save in a different slot. I'll keep that other most recent one because I think that one is pretty important. This one here, this 1984, I want to keep this one around in case I want to reload into the economic crisis to change something I did there, like getting more slots or something. I probably won't. But yeah, let's go ahead and pass this turn, hope for a high roll. Plus 51. All right, so we're going to re-roll that one. We're going to go ahead to the title screen. We're going to load into this world, I think it is. This is so cheaty, yo. We're basically hacking the World Traveler Index to be higher just by RNGing every single turn and making sure we get the best one. But, I mean, I think this is completely worth it. Minus 750. Okay, plus 117 again. I think I'll take anything over 115. So let's go ahead and lock that one in. Where is the save? Save this into this world. Okay, very nice. You know what else I can do actually? Is I can actually start growing my company again. So basically what I mean by that is buying planes and making routes. And then I'll save after I'm done buying the planes and making the routes. So then literally the only thing that's happening on the turn passing is re-rolling the World Traveler Index. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So we can go ahead and throw in a massive order of these 76200s. Let's go ahead and drop in an order for 30 of these bad boys. Very, very nice indeed. Of course, we have these stupid 134As sitting around doing nothing but depreciating, which is a bit too bad. I mean, there's a lot of them too, so whatever. Yeah, is there anything else I have to do this turn? Not really at all. So, let's save again. All right, perfect. I think everything's ready to go. Planes are ordered. Fuel is in, so we can just go ahead and pass the turn. And with that drop in profit, looks like, yeah, this is a really great one. So I'm going to quickly buy the fuel. And we're going to save the game. All right, nice, nice, nice. And yeah, okay, we locked in that 152. So we can go ahead and pass the turn. Just give us another great one. Small drop in profit. So maybe this one wasn't so great. 108. 108 is probably worth keeping, but I think I can do better at the same time. So what I'm going to do here is, I think I have to go back to main menu and reload. Yep. It feels so weird just dropping without saving and stuff like that. But no, I don't want a new game. Back. No new game. Load game. 1986.03. I think this is the plus 152. Maybe we should try and get like plus 150 for each one. Just really push it. But like, I don't know how cheaty I want to get. We got fuel, so we can just go ahead and pass the turn immediately. That one looks pretty bad. Yeah, plus 86. Yeah, basically I can tell by the profit now how much the World Traveler Index increased or decreased, because if it didn't increase enough, we're going to drop a lot of profit. So, go ahead and reload that again. This is freaking hilarious, actually. If only you could do this in online, but in online you just get screwed by your luck. 107. Once again, no, I'm gonna go for a little bit higher because I want this world to be really fun. Yeah, what should I name this about? World Traveler Index hacking? That's basically what we're doing. Here is we're just RNGing a higher world travel. I should have done this on the way down too, is RNG the minimums on the way down. I'll definitely do this for the last economic crisis because I think this is incredibly broken doing this. I'll probably RNG every turn to be like perfect, basically. 75, nope. Yeah, I can't believe it's literally just random. I feel like there needs to be more control over it because this has too much effect on the game world to be completely randomized. It needs to look at the size of a lot of existing airlines, I believe, to be more fair. And like, if there's a lot of airlines, it should be slightly larger. I think we got an awesome one, guys. Yeah, 160. Oh yeah, baby. So let's go ahead and save this again. And we also have 30 aircraft to schedule, so I'll go and do that off camera and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back after scheduling all 30 of the 767. Very important is setting the prices of our 767 to appropriate amounts. So 1.3s across the board. Wait, don't mess that up. Okay, nice, nice, nice. And the next thing we need to do is drop a save, just, to lock in all this work we've done, which is a lot. And then we can go ahead and do wiggly niggly things, trade fuel. Let's go ahead and drop another order for 767. I know A310 is coming out soon, but 767 does also have the range on the A310, so it's, not completely worse than the A310. It looks like I can only afford 18 or 19 of them this turn time. Well, 18 it is. And then we'll go ahead and drop another save. Make sure this is on save. Save, yep. And then, yeah, we can go ahead and pass the turn. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And no drop in profit. Nope, we got a big drop in profit. That tells me the World Traveler Index didn't do what I wanted it to do. So we'll go ahead and quit to the main menu and load back up. Try again. I don't know if there's a set number of turns where the World Traveler Index goes up either. Um, so I have no idea if this is the end of the road or not. Um, but I feel like we haven't had the World Traveler Index been going up for like. Okay, yeah, it's definitely still going up, and that was plus 60, which we're not gonna take. We're going for about 150 because I want to see what it's like to play in a like extremely high World Traveler Index world. And another thing I can't believe is some people don't have to do this to freaking get a World Traveler Index goes up. I've literally never had an economic crisis and had the World Traveler Index recover to a higher amount than it did before. I think that happened to me once, and that was a world where I was deliberately holding back and not getting many planes because um, the game became too much of a time sink. So what I was doing is I was saying I'm only gonna get like 700 to 800 planes, so the replacement process is really really easy. That's exactly what I did, and it was so much fun because like I used only the largest planes. I used only A380, 747, and 777, and it was fine and it was fantastic. And you made I think I made profit, which I rarely ever saw that high again, which is 2 to 4 billion uptick to downtick. Um, like 4 billion is really hard to achieve in online. And look at this, like I've done so many reloads and still not gotten a good number. Um, and I talk about this friend a lot, but this guy literally plays like two worlds, and every time the freaking economic crisis is great for him because it goes down a tiny bit and goes up a lot, and it's literally just luck. So this one looked pretty good. 101, yeah, that's decent, but I really want a high 100s, like 160. So let's go again. I mean, I have all day, and this is honestly pretty funny. So come on, 160, 160. Ooh, this looks pretty good. That's the lowest profit drop I've got so far. 114. Do I take it? Well, why would I take it when, I could spend all day doing this and it'll affect the rest of the game a lot? How much fun I have, so. This is the cheatiest way. I might post a video on this eventually, just showing this off because this is freaking. Manipulating this on both the way up and way down could get you from like a 3,500 World Traveler Index world to like a 4,500 World Traveler Index world. I can easily see that if you manipulate both the way up and down. Unfortunately, I'm only manipulating the way up, so I won't might be able to hit 3,700 ish. But I'm really not sure what I'll be able to hit. So yeah. Oh my god, our profit went up. This is the world we're taking for sure. 160, guys. 160. So let's go ahead and quickly lock that in because I really don't want to lose that. Save in this slot. Yes, that's exactly what we want to do. Um, the unbelievable cheapness of this strategy too is just it's great. This is freaking great. Yeah, like what is this World Traveler Index? Is look at that company value though. Holy. You guys can see how much the economic crisis affected that. Pretty insane. And yeah. So I think one thing I'm gonna have to do is sort out this. So yeah, I'm gonna do this and then I'll be right back. All right, that's sorted out. So we'll go ahead and drop another save. Um, Perfect. And what else can we do? Our planes arrive next turn. So not much to do this turn. Let's make sure everything's set. And let's go ahead and pass the turn. 1.1 billion on a point 0.6 turn is a pretty high profit. But that's only a plus 60, so let's go ahead and reload. All right, this is freaking great. Load up. Um, yeah, maybe I could actually get close to 4,000 with this. I have no clue how many more turns of up I'm supposed to have. Um, but yeah, we'll max out. Okay, that's was that higher or worse? Ooh, that's good. 130. Yeah, that's high enough so that I'm not really bothered to try and make it better. So, we can go ahead and lock that in, I think. Yeah, like it seems like I haven't rolled higher than 160 a single time. So only 30 from the max seems like pretty good for me. I'll take that. I'll definitely take that. So then that means I'm gonna have to schedule all these planes and I'll be right back. Alright, I finished off that scheduling. So once again, we can go ahead and set the price. What did I click? Go ahead and set the price to the classic 767 slash every single non-Russian aircraft price. There we go. And then make sure we have fuel. We do. And then make sure we have the game saved. Now we do. Do I want to order any aircraft? I like big orders, and 2 billion isn't really enough for big orders. So we can go ahead and pass the turn. Let's see, what do we get? 1.3 billion in profit, 4.6 World Traveler. I'm not sure if that's because it's done going up or if it's all we're getting. So let's go ahead and load back in and see if we get a higher number, and if it's like in the like low numbers or it goes down or something, then we know that it's the World Traveler Index has stopped recovering. 12. Okay, we could just be really unlucky. I'm not sure yet. Basically, until I see a red one, then I'm not really sure if it's going up or down. When I say red, I mean red by quite a bit, like minus 20. It's almost impossible to get more than minus, say, 3. All right, that's slightly better. 185, guys, so I was completely wrong. The maximum potential is much higher than I ever knew, but I just never got lucky enough to get it. And yeah, we're definitely taking that one, so let's go ahead and save immediately. I didn't even know the maximum potential was so high. I re-rolled the World Traveler Index so many times, and that was the highest I ever seen. So, I really wasn't aware that it could go that high. So, let's go ahead and save again. Very nice. And yeah, let's see how big these cities are. Hold up. Oh my god. I'm very pleased about this. Look at London. Look at London. This would fill a freaking 747 at this point almost. Let's take a look at this. Like, ooh. 2 747s and a competitor. This should be, like you can see the dips getting higher. The next dip isn't going to be very deep at all with this World Traveler Index. Yeah, sweet. I mean, I don't want to order any aircraft, so I think we saved already, so we can go ahead and pass the turn. This is a long episode, by the way. 1.4. No. Minus 90? What? No. No, thanks. Hold up. I think that was the last turn of growth, by the way. Let's reload that and see if we don't get minus 90. But there might be a normalization mechanism trying to make the World Traveler Index go kind of back towards what it was before. Let's see how well it works. Go ahead and pass this turn. All right. Minus 180? I feel like this manipulation technique doesn't work very well because it wants to normalize again afterwards. But I've seen plenty of times where it didn't do that, so... Keep in mind, this is a normal tick. This is no longer an economic quote-unquote crisis or economic growth. It's literally just a regular turn now. But let's see if we don't get... Minus 12. There we go. I wonder what would happen if for every single turn of the game, I only let the World Traveler Index go up. Okay, well, I'm happy with this. It's higher than it was when it started, which is already more than I can normally ask for. So we can go ahead and start playing off this world, I guess. What's the profit looking like? 1.5 billion? Somehow that's not really improved from before the economic crisis. Somehow, I guess the fuel price and such other factors as having 50 unused aircraft and increasing is not helping. I mean, I guess I could sell these, but I think they'll be decent for replacements in the future. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. It's been a long one. Um, go ahead and make a final save. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.